Hello everyone, it's your best friend Brenton. As you guys know, I have maybe made a few moments and recordings in my life. Today we are going to be doing a creepypasta reading for the first time, and I may do more if you want more. I found one for the Luigi's Mansion fans out there. It's called Luigi's Mansion Beta Disc. So let's get started on Luigi's Mansion Beta Disc. Didn't see this on the wiki, so I thought I would put it on here. Hello there. How much do you know about the game Luigi's Mansion? Better question, how much do you think you know about it? Have you ever looked up the beta version of the game? Well, I've always been fascinated with beta games. I know all about them. I know about them all. Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Banjo-Kazooie, and many more. The changes they make from the beta versions to the final versions are quite significant. So recently, after playing Luigi's Mansion, I noticed that I had no joy whatsoever on that game. So I looked up the beta and quickly fell in love with it. Weird. I have connections with gaming stuff. My best friend being a rare game collector and my brother owning a game shop. I never actually thought about playing a beta game before till I heard my friend got a copy of the Luigi's Mansion beta. Okay, this is really bad grammar here. No way, this can't be possible. I thought to myself, what are the odds that he could have gotten the unreleased ideas for the original Luigi's Mansion? Of course, with him being a collector, he's focused more about having it in his possession rather than playing it. He knew about my love for the beta game, so he let me borrow the copy of it for a little while. It was like a different game. So many things have changed between the beta and final version. I saw a clock where the Game Boy Horror was supposed to be. I knew about that feature and accepted the challenge. Also, dang it, I saw the overheat meter, so I couldn't use the poltergust for very long, else it would hurt Luigi. I was intrigued greatly by all these changes. The ghosts were different colors and the music was more 8-bit. I wasn't bothered at all. I loved it. After clearing through the first couple of rooms on the left hallway, everything went normally. It played fine. Had a couple of uneven moments here and there, but nothing major. I went to Concy's room. Okay, dang it. Sorry guys, my grammar's really bad. I sucked up the last ghost, but in the process, my poltergust overheated. I did not want to say that word. I shouted at the game. For an examination of the situation, I noticed that Luigi's head was a bit odd. I leaned in forward, looking at the back of his injured, pixelated head. There was a fatal-looking wound there. It was disgusting. The back of his head was blown completely off. Parts of his brain was visible, and each time I walked, you could see blood drip from the back of his head. It was like someone took a mace through the back of his head and smashed it violently. He dripped like a snake. That was never turned off all the way. It was pretty freaky, I have to admit, but he still controlled normal. Everything was going without any sort of change, so maybe it was a glitch. I continued on my journey as the back of Luigi's head dripped small drops of red blood. I went to the parlor, aiming to clear the rest of the rooms on the second floor. I walked in and the lamp exploded. It made me jump, but I was aware of that add-on. The freaky thing was that after the lamp exploded, Luigi screamed and covered his face for a brief moment. I spun him around, seeing what was wrong with it, and oh my god, his face was cut. Little spots of blood trickled down his cheeks, and he didn't seem bothered. He spewed out a little as if someone had turned on the water fountain of pure maroon color blood. Now I'm getting creeped out, but it was very intriguing to me. I walked down the hallway that would be deemed as the beginning of Area 2. I saw a puff of cloud behind me, and then out shouted the ghost as Luigi was scared off his feet. He began to do a reverse crab walk across the floor there. Sorry, I'm tired. I can't keep my eyes open. Another concept I knew about so it didn't feel out of place to me. After Luigi arose from his cowering position and then walked to the basement area, Luigi walked down the first staircase and tried activating the sliding ability. So he did. Luigi slid down the stairs but landed on his feet with his ankles shattered on contact. A thunderous crack was heard. He screamed loudly and grabbed a hold of his leg, rocking back and forth. Odd, I said to myself at a perplexed at the situation. He stopped on his leg and a cutscene triggered. The camera was focused on Luigi, with frontal view, and the stairs stood behind him. He slowly grabbed the rail and stood up. Then Luigi started mumbling to himself, "No, no, no, no!" Wait, can I do it? Can I do that meme? No, 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 no! Okay, that's what I did. The camera panned over to show an armada of ghosts in the corner. They all fled after turning around to see Luigi screaming in disbelief and horror. From there, it unveiled the body of a very dead and rotten toad. The top of his head looked like a giant had taken a bite out of it because he's a mushroom. I'm not gonna, maggots. Oh my gosh, this is so freaky. Maggots crawled through the freshly opened gap in his head. Half of his face was missing, the left side that the flesh ripped off. Showing just bare bone, his jaw was dislocated and hung askew while his head leaned against the wall, unable to support his own weight. Clearly he had been dead for quite some time, but what was the ghost doing there? Feeding? It rather me through us, though, so I sat there, controlling my hand with sweaty palms and panting heavily if I had undergone a marathon. Should I go on, or should I just leave it alone? Sitting there watching a cutscene that only took a couple of minutes felt like hours. Just contemplating on what to do next felt like a psychotic idea. But I may not have a chance at this again, so I kept going. There was only one other place I could think of that I hadn't been to yet. Outside. Luigi was a mess. The bleeding had slowed down did his movements. The blood had only dripped. Oh, dang it. Sorry, guys. I have to pause this real. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. My brother had to interrupt the moment. But anyways, Luigi was a mess. The bleeding had slowed down and his movements. The blood had only dripped every few seconds rather than with each step. His foot was sideways, yet he walked normally, but slower as if experiencing the thing that we define as pain. Filled with curiosity, I figured that it was one of those times where it's better not to ask questions. As I made it back to the foyer, I stared at Luigi again as I sunk. His face looked as if it were melted plastic. I grabbed open the door to explore the outside world and look at what else was out there. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to walk more than 3 steps outside before a cutscene triggered. My fears had risen as I placed the controller in my lap and covered my mouth with my hands. My heart sped up, and I didn't know what to expect next. I knew the beta was scarier than the original, but I never dreamed it would be more adrenaline-filled. Luigi opened his mouth in shock. The camera turned from my frontal view of Luigi over to Bowser standing in front of the tree. Bowser has his back turned and looked over his shoulder. He stepped out of the way of the tree as it shows Mario turned the shreds hung on the tree like a sick holiday decoration. You know what? I heard about this. Stuck through a branch. His torso sliced in half with all of his organs ripped out, lying on the floor. His head lay on the top like a star on a Christmas tree. Oh my god. The lightning flashed to show a more detailed image of Mario's eyes. His face revolted in the back of his head, his mouth stretched with blood. His masters had been ripped off like a band-aid. His skin hanging in places as if someone had dragged a cheese grater slowly over his face. That was it, though. The cutscene ended. Next thing I know, Luigi's standing back where I left him, his hands grasping his head while looking down at the ground. If he squeezed any tighter, it looked as if it could pop. I glanced over at the Game Boy Horror, noticing the timer was speeding up drastically, and suddenly my 24 hours were up. After the timer was up, the game over cutscene started, showing Luigi's lifeless face. The very same face that stays in your mind and haunts your dreams every night. The lightning flashed again, showing his dismantled face with a gash diagonally from his right eye to the left side of his mouth. It continued to play, but this time showing things from Luigi's point of view. Luigi looked at his hands as if they started to slowly go transparent and fade away. He grabbed the poltergeist and thrust it off his body and placed it on the ground in front of him. A small tear rolled down Luigi's cheek as he held the nozzle directly at his face and hesitantly turned the poltergust on. He screamed loudly, and my speakers began to fill with static. He was slowly spiraling into the very device he fought the ghost with. The poltergust rocked back and forth, seconding Lowe's once his master until he was completely engulfed inside the machine. The camera zoomed in on the device for a few moments, then a hand reached out and grabbed it. It was a frail old hand by none other than our friend, Professor Egad. He grinned violently, with his baby tooth looking almost sharp enough to cut through flesh. He walked off his creation and all its captives. A scream went black, and the sound went quiet. As the fiend transitioned to the side, it showed a painting on the gallery wall, but a painting of none other than Luigi. Luigi was standing there, holding his head down, with his face looking half melted and blood-stained. Behind him was a crowd of ghosts reaching for him, ready to get their revenge for now and the rest of the eternity. I sat too scared to move, when suddenly I noticed something. A cloud of smoke was ascending from my GameCube. I panicked, stood up, and backed away. Within seconds, it burst into flames. I darted out of my seat and filled a glass of water that doused the burning hardware. The fire was extinguished, and the smoke filled my room. I walked over to open the windows and aired the place out, then sat back in my chair. I leaned in to grab the GameCube. I yanked it violently out of its place where the cord split. Not like it mattered anyway it was broken, but when I opened the disc slot to look for the beta disc, it was vacant. I looked at the wreckage from what was once my GameCube, and it was completely empty. I peered in closely and saw the words Luigi's Mansion was born into the disc slot. The next day, I met back up with my friend, the collector. I asked him where he got the beta for Luigi's Mansion, but all he did was look at me in puzzles and said, "What beta?" I spent countless hours trying to tell him what happened, but he didn't believe me. I tried showing him the words etched up inside my GameCube, but I couldn't find them. The GameCube was still a wreck, of course, but it was nothing more than an overheated, worn-out ruins of an old Nintendo project. Well, I guess the old saying is, curiosity killed the cat, or in this case, my GameCube. Well, that is a really odd creepypasta. Besides the fact that all of that sometimes it just so besides the fact that there's blood in this, I don't count this. I really don't think about it. Well, like, I know, what am I saying? Well, it was kind of creepy. Besides of the dismemberment, death, gore, just, it's really weird. Besides the fact, but anyways, I hope you guys liked this. If you guys did, then please do leave a like on this video, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.